To assemble the base, you're gonna wanna start with laying all your parts out on the floor. And you know, if you have carpet, you can just lay it on that, or if not, I would recommend putting some blankets down. But you have your, your long rails on the side. These are the cross braces in the middle, and then each set of legs on each end. So for the alignment purposes, let's take a closer look. You'll see these recessed marks here, and you just line those up. So for example, that was a single mark. And then if we were to look on the end of this one, it has a single indent. And then on this side was a double, and this long skirt board has a double indent. And they'd be the same down there. There's one of those has a 3, one of them has a 4. And then what you'll do is you want this groove down. So basically we're gonna assemble this upside down to start with. And then the middle here, these two cross braces, again, just correspond with the dots. And on this one, you can see a single dot. And on the same thing here, a single dot. Okay, so now to assemble, you're gonna take this connector, and anywhere you see this piece, like this piece right here, you're gonna just thread this into it. Okay, so now what you want to just make sure of, this is facing inside, and you want to make sure that indent, you can see this recessed part right here, is facing inside. And then you'll just go around and you'll do that on, there's gonna be 8 of them to do. So there's gonna be another 2 on the long skirt boards, each of those, 2 more down that end, and the other one here. On the skirt boards, when you thread them in, the insides, inside's gonna face each other. So basically, when you thread it in here and there, those indents are gonna face each other. Okay, so I'm gonna go around and do that to all those spots, and then we'll pick it up from there. If you run into a situation where you're having a hard time getting this to set all the way down, turning it by hand, just take your Allen wrench and feed it into this opening, and that'll just give you some additional leverage. At this point, you should have all of your connectors set. Again, there should be 8 of them. And next, anywhere you see an opening like this, it should be on the end of both of your cross braces and on the end of your long skirt boards. You're gonna see this same type of opening. And you're just gonna take this piece right here, and with the threading facing up, the flat part facing down, just go ahead and set that in. You just want to make sure it's all the way set, that it's completely flush with the bottom. So if you need to, again, you could even just take this little Allen wrench and just press it down. But again, just make sure that's fully set to the bottom. And then from there, you're gonna take this threaded insert with the point facing down, and you're gonna feed that into this threading. Now don't thread it very far, just a couple turns, just to make sure it's in there. This part on the end, this opening just slides right over top of that connector. Just take your Allen wrench, turn this, and now that's what's going to tighten this connection. And then when we get this flipped upside down, you'll be able to make any little adjustments. So just want to make this snug just so it'll hold. You don't have to over tighten it right now. The last step here is attaching your base to your tabletop. So with the underside facing up and the finish face down, and you're gonna wanna have something to protect your finish face. So you wanna put down some blankets or install this on carpet or a rug, but something to protect that finish face. So lay your base on your tabletop. Alignment is very simple. The corner posts are set in 2.5 inches from each edge, and they have a dot system to help with alignment, very similar to the dot system used to assemble the base. So the 4 center holes here will get this bolt with the hex head. So you use the hex wrench to install these. And then the perimeter of the skirt board is attached with these Z clips, and those get secured with just a bolt with a Phillips head. So I'll show you a close-up here of finishing that installation. When you're finished attaching the Z clips to the long skirt board, there will be a gap here between the skirt board and the Z clip. That is necessary to allow the tabletop to contract and expand, and that gap should be about 1/8 of an inch. On the short skirt boards, that gap will not be as wide. Once all of the hardware is attached, securing the base to the underside of the tabletop, you've confirmed that all your skirt board connections are tight and your furniture glides are installed. It's gonna be time to flip this table over. When you do that, it's gonna require 2 strong adults to do it, and you wanna make sure that you do not put the pressure on these legs when you do this. It's a very heavy table, and that's a lot of pressure to put on the sides of these legs. So my recommendation is to tilt this on its side, and then when you go to actually flip it, that's where you have to be careful about the weight and using the legs as leverage. So once you go to flip this right side up, you really want to make sure you lift the table up and turn it. So again, you're avoiding putting all the weight on the legs when you do that. You really do not want to use these legs as leverage to tip this and get this in the upright position.